Vande Raman Visthaya Bhutale Rupanam Bhaktiram Jayadam Jai Shri Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Shri Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jai Rup Sanatan Vatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Vatta Dasa Raghunath Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my Stanga Dandavad Pranams at the lotus feet for spiritual masters. Nitlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, Nitlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Vaman Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, the entire Rupanakari Guru Varga, our guardians, and to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present today. So today is the most auspicious Tithi. Like yesterday we heard in the evening, and today is Vasanta Panchami, the beginning of the season of spring here in Vrajmandal. So we say that the spring is Rituraj, the king of all seasons. In Braj, actually, you see, this Rituraj is most prominent. But still, there are 6 seasons, but still, we say that this spring season is given prominence especially. Because here we see during this Vasanta Panchami, all of Braj turns yellow. Yellow flowers are seen, and the water of the Yamuna becomes very clean and clear, as if inviting Radha and Krishna to perform their leelas here in this land of Raj. Why? Because we see Krishna also, he has this pitambar on his shoulder. Why? Because this reminds him of Srimati Radhika. Srimati Radhika, she covers herself in blue cloth because this reminds her of Krishna. And Krishna covers himself with yellow cloth because this reminds him of Srimati Radhika. So especially here when he sees the yellow colored atmosphere in Braj, and Krishna is very much inclined to perform his this Ras Leela during this Vasanta Panchami. And we say that this Ras Leela is performed where? In Chandra Sarovar, near Parsoli Gram. So we hear that during this Ras Leela there is this speciality that even when the gopis saw Krishna in his four-handed form, they were not so much attracted to him. Therefore they asked Krishna, can you kindly tell us which way our Pran Priyatam went? And then in his four-handed form, Krishna just stood silently. But as soon as Radharani came, then automatically his 2 hands entered inside him. Then you see these 2 hands entered inside him automatically. And we say that why did Mahaprabhu go to Alarnath? We say that during this Annavasarkal, when he could not have darshan of Jagannath, Mahaprabhu he went to Alarnath. Why? Because we hear that in this Alarnath he'd have darshan of this Chaturbhuj Narayan. So one may think Mahaprabhu is absorbed in Radha Bhav. And why is he having darshan of Chaturbhuj Narayan? Then how is it stimulating him? This Uddipan. Because when he'd see this Chaturbhuj Narayan, Mahaprabhu would be so much absorbed in thinking about this Parsoli Leela. This Leela that took place there when Krishna appeared in his four-handed form. Therefore he'd go stay there in Alarnath. And being absorbed there, he would manifest all these ecstatic symptoms of ecstasy. So in this way we see that during this Vasanti Rasyatra, we see that especially Srimati Radhika's prominence is shown. Because we see that when Mahaprabhu was having this conversation with Raya Ramananda, then when Raya Ramananda was establishing the super excellence of Srimati Radhika, at first he described the Saradiya Ras Leela, where he said Krishna, he disappeared, and all the gopis were there to be with Srimati Radhika. But Mahaprabhu said that this is all right, but this is not so open. So then can you speak something, can you speak of a Leela where it is being described more openly? So then Raya Ramananda, he spoke from this Gita Govind, this shlok, where he said that Kansarapi samsare vasana baddha shrinkala. Radha Madha Hriday Tatyaji Vrajasundari. So there we see Tatyaja Vrajasundari, that Krishna being chained by the prema of Srimati Radhika, he left all the other Vrajasundaris to be with Srimati Radhika. So when Mahaprabhu heard this verse, he became very happy. We see even that when like this Leela that was taking place in Kendu Bilwa, when Jayadev Goswami was making cloth, when he was having someone stitch cloth for Jagannath, then he only recited half this verse and then he went into Samadhi. And then the people who were making the cloth, they were thinking how to finish the cloth. He hasn't finished the entire verse. And Krishna himself appeared as a Brahmin and he recited the entire verse. What was the last line of that verse? Radha Madha Hriday Tat Tyaja Vrajasundari. This line, Krishna himself appeared as a Brahmin and he finished the entire verse. And this way the entire cloth was stitched for Jagannath. So when Mahaprabhu heard this Leela from Rai Ramananda, he became so happy. Yes, here Srimati Radhika's super excellence has been established. And we see that the Ras Leela in itself, if we see who has given such a beautiful description of Ras Leela than our Gurudev, if you see. Such a wonderful description he has given in this Ras Panchadhyayi. This book is like the heart of Srila Gurudev. You see in this book especially, he has given the commentaries of Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And today happens to be the disappearance day of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And we see Gurudev has given this commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur there. This Sarartha Darshani Tika, along with Laghu Vaishnav Toshani Jiva Goswami in this Ras Panchadhyayi. And especially we see that Gurudev, although he was a Rasik Acharya, he didn't compromise in any Siddhanta. He made sure the Siddhanta was also like solid. Or else people, they'll think of Ras Leela as as mundane love shared between an ordinary man and woman. So therefore we see, if you see the last like 7 or 8 verses of this Ras Panchadhyayi, it only concerns about Tattva Siddhanta. And Chakravarti Thakur has given such beautiful commentaries. Like we see the first question that Parikshit Maharaj raises. He says that Sansthapanaya Dharmasya Prashamena Itarasya Cha Avatirno Hi Bhagavan Sanshena Jagadishwara. He said, Oh Prabhu, Sansthapanaya Dharmasya, he said that he came to establish Dharma, Krishna. And Prashamaya Itarasya Cha. Itarasya Cha means all that is opposed to Bhagavan and his devotional service, he came to subdue that. Avatirno Hi Bhagavan Anshena Jagadishwara. Therefore Bhagavan he appeared along with his Anshas, incarnations, expansions, Baladev Prabhu. So then we see that Sa Katham Dharma Setum Vakta Karta Abhirakshita. And he has come to establish this Dharma Setu, moral etiquette, religiosity. And he is the Vakta, he is the speaker, he is the Karta, he who executes, and he is the Abhirakshita, he who saves. But still, Prapita Acharat Brahman Paradara Abhimarshanam. He said, but still, he has acted in contrast to these religious principles by touching the wives of other men. So how is this? Also he said, Apta Kama Jadupati Kartavan Hai Jugupsitam. He said this Jadupati is Aptakam. But why did he do this? Kartavan Hai Jugupsitam. This task which is not ordinarily appreciated by ordinary people. Why did he do this? Kim Abhiprayam Etanna Sanshaya Chindi Suvrata, he has said. Parikshit, he said that although he's Aptakam and he's Jadupati, especially he's the Prabhu of these Yadavas. So why did he do this then? This Leela then. Jugupsitam, Kartavain vai Jugupsitam, Kim Abhiprayam Etanva. What was his opinion in doing this? Sanshaya Chindi Suvrata, he said. So therefore Subrata, Sukdev Goswami is known as Subrata. Why? Because he is this Naishtik Brahmachari who has never even been with a woman. Like we see even these women were bathing, they saw Sukadev, they were not even concerned to dress themselves up because he is beyond. Therefore Sanshaya Chindi Suvrata. Therefore I have this doubt lingering in my heart. Therefore please cut asunder this doubt, Parikshit, he said. So there Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary has said that Aptakama Jadupati. So here why is he addressed as Aptakam? Because Krishna, by establishing the superiority of this Ras Leela, he made sure that his desires were fulfilled. Here Aptakam means one whose all desires have been fulfilled. So what was his desire? That the glories of Ras Leela be established. Therefore, although he is Aptakam and he is Jadupati, still by this way, in the topmost way, all his desires were fulfilled. In this way. By teaching everyone this Kamanuga Bhakti, Kamatmika Bhakti, this Tattva-bhavichamayi Bhakti. And there again you see when Sukadeva Goswami, he gives his answer. Where he says that Dharma Vyatikramam Drishta Ishwaram Chasahasam Ishwaranam Chasahasam Tejiyasam Na Dosham Vahane Sarva Bhuja Yatha. Where he said that Dharma Vyatikramam Drishtam Ishwaranam Chasahasam. Where he said that although it is seen that he did Vyatikram, he transgressed these moral religious principles, but still Ishwaranam Chasahasam Tejiyasam Na Dosham. That still he has no fault. Like we see normally those are ordinary controllers of this material world. Like Brahma, we see that he became attracted to his daughter, or we see that Brihaspati became attracted to the wife of his elder brother. And this is so many things happened, but still Tejiyanam na dosham Bhane sarva bhujo yata. They're beyond any faults, just as fire consumes everything. So there Chakravarti Thakur, he has mentioned in his commentary that here Krishna, he is not just a normal Ishwar, he is Parameshwar. So if even normal mundane, if even normal personalities are not controlled by the reaction, just as a fire engulfs everything, then how can Krishna be touched by any impurity? Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami has said that Naitat Samachare Chatu Manasya Api Anishwara Vinashati Acharat Maudyat Yatha Rudro Abdijam Visham. That just as we see, what did Rudra do? He drank this poison. So will one imitate Rudra here and drink this poison as well? Therefore, you should never have any misunderstanding of this Ras Leela. And here you see Chakravarti Thakur has given such beautiful commentaries on all these verses. Like there's this other verse that follows, where he said that Gopinam cha patinam cha sarvesham eha dehinam yo anta charati so daksha kridaneneha dehabak. There he said that who is Krishna? Chakravarti Thakur, he says, don't have any misunderstanding. Who is he? Gopinam cha patinam cha sarvesham eva dehinam. He is this Sarveshwar who is residing in the hearts of all the gopis, and not just the gopis, in the hearts of all their husbands. So don't think that he's only enjoying with some ordinary woman and he's just some ordinary hero. No, who is he? He is the indwelling super soul, Antaryami. Yonta Sacharti so Daksha. There he's wandering in their hearts and he's so Daksha. He's witness to all their leelas. But still, Kridana Neha Dehabak. He has assumed in this human-like form. Why? Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusham Deyamashritam Bhajate Tadrishi Krida. This way, Bhajate Tadrishi Krida Yashutta Tatparo Bhavet. Why? Because to bestow mercy upon his devotees, he has assumed this human-like form. And by Bhajate Tadrishi Krida, and one who remembers these pastimes, and Yashutta Tatparo Bhavet, one who listens to it, then he becomes absorbed in all these leelas in this way. So, and also in the next verse, again, Chakravarti Thakur gives a commentary that here you see the Gopas could have become envious of Krishna when he performed this Ras Leela with their wives. But still you see what he has said. Na suya kalu Krishnaya mohitas tasya maya manyamana parshva. There he has said that they never became absorbed, they never became envious of Krishna. How? Na suya kalu Krishnaya mohitas tasya maya. Because they were bewildered by Maya. So here the question comes that were they bewildered by Mahamaya? And how can they be bewildered by Maya? Because they are the Vrajavasis. You see. But still, were they bewildered? And the next line says what? It says that the gopis were by their sides. No, it says that Parshvasthan, that they were right by their sides. And Swan Dara, there they saw Swan Dara Vrajaukasa. They saw that the gopis were lying by their sides. So here, were they bewildered by mundane Maya? No, illusory Maya. No, they were actually bewildered by Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya, actually, she made all these duplicates of all these gopis. And these gopis, they resembled all of them in every sense. But still, the gopas never touched these gopis. They never touched them. Why? Because they resembled all these other gopis so much. Yoga Maya made sure that they were only by their sides serving them, cooking for them, massaging their legs and everything else. But no other physical proximity other than this. So in this way, then finally it said that then this Brahmaratra Upavrite Vasudeva Anumoditam. Brahmaratra Upadite Vasudeva Anumoditam. Naichaya Anichaya Yayur Gopya Swagrihan Bhagavata Priya. There it said that Brahmaratra Upavrite, when they performed this Ras Leela for an entire duration of Brahma, then when it finished, then Vasudeva Anumodita. Then with the permission of Vasudev, all these gopis, Anichanto Yayur Gopya, although they were not so desirous of returning homes, they are Anichanto, they were not desiring, but still, because Vasudev desired, Swagrihan Bhagavata Priya, they return to their homes. Why? They're Bhagavata Priya. They're so dear to Krishna. And why did Krishna want to return home? Why did he want to go back home? Because Nanda Baba was waiting for him. Nanda Baba was thinking, whole night I'm feeling so much separation from him. I want to see my son. So Krishna was thinking, I'll have to go and meet my father. In this way, how can I just stay here enjoying with the gopis? And then the gopis realized that this is Krishna's desire. Therefore, we should also not trouble him in any way. Therefore, Anichanto Yayur Gopya Swagriyan Bhagavata Priya. Although they were like Anicha, they were not so desirous, still they had to go back to their homes. And this is the definition of prem. What is the definition of prem? Sarvata dhansa rahitam yadyapi dhansa karane. Sabhava bandhana yuna saprema parikirtita. That although there's every reason for prem to break, still it will not break. Still it will flourish more and more. So all these explanations have been given there by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Gurudev has given a Bhavanuvad. And the last verse of this Ras Panchadhyayi, you see Gurudev, he has said, Vikriditam Rajabadubi Rijamta Vishnu Shraddhan Vito Anushranayad Athavarnayedva Param Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilapya Kamam Hridroganta Atihinoti Achirena Dhiraha. There he has said that if one wants to be free of this lust, then he has to listen to this Ras Leela. Shraddhan Vito Anushranayad Athavarnayedva. First he should listen with faith, and then he should describe these Ras Leela pastimes. Then what will happen? Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam. Then this Parama Bhakti will automatically enter his heart. Then Hidrogam Atihinoti Achirena Dhiraha. Such a Dhira, such a Pandit, his Hidrog will go away. So there Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he has given the definition of a Pandit. Who is a Pandit? Pandit is that person who has faith that first by listening to the Ras Leela, then the anarthas go away. Not that, I'll be free of all my anarthas and then I'll listen to the Ras Leela. No. This is not a Pandit. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said he's actually a murk. He's actually a fool, he has said, who believes that first this happens and then that. No. Pandit is he who has faith in the words of the Shastras that by listening to the Ras Leela first, then automatically Prem will enter inside and then all the anarthas go away, he has said. And then Hridrogam, he has said. What is this Hridrog? Ultimately, we see that it means lust, but ultimately what does it mean? What is the disease of the heart for the Bhavuk Sadhak? That is Viraha, separation from Krishna. This is the disease of the heart. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given such beautiful explanations there of all these verses there, and Gurudev has given a Bhavanuvad. So today is his Tirobhav Tithi, where he entered into Samadhi with his predominating deity of all his services. That is Rup Manjari herself. In one way, is actually said to be a manifestation of Rup Manjari. In this way. So we see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was like the heart of Gurudev. Whatever Gurudev spoke, he only spoke from the platform of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He said, whatever Chakravarti Thakur is inspiring me from within my heart, I'm only speaking that katha. He would say. Therefore, we see that today is also his Tirobhav Tithi. And today is also the appearance of Vishnu Priya Devi. So previously we heard from the Vaishnavas that why did Param Gurudev send Gurudev to Mathura? Why? What is the reason? Like recently, I was speaking to one disciple in Imlitala, the Pujari there. I was asking him about the history of Radha Gopinath deity. Like how did these deities come about in Imlitala? So this Pujari, he told me, Sanatan Prabhu, he told me that these deities were actually in Mathura first. There, Bhaktisarang Goswami Maharaj, he established a temple first in Mathura and he put some disciples there. The Radha Gopinath were there first. But then some disciples of Bhaktisarang Goswami Maharaj, they were like, we don't want to stay in Mathura. We want to go to Vrindavan. Why stay here in Mathura? Therefore, then Radha Gopinath, they came from Mathura to Vrindavan in this way. So therefore, we see what is the reason that what Param Gurudev, he told Gurudev to establish a temple here in Mathura. When some Vaishnavas, they left Mathura and came here to Vrindavan. So then we heard the Vaishnavas, they spoke this reason that Krishna is feeling so much separation here in Mathura. Feeling so much separation, there's no one to pacify him. He sent Uddhav, and Uddhav also, what happened? He became bewildered. He said, how is this Prem? They're only weeping and weeping for Krishna. The whole time they're only weeping and weeping. How can this be Prem? And then he came back. Who was there to pacify him? Radharani had all her Sakhis and Manjaris, but there was no one for Krishna. Therefore, Gurudev, he came there to Mathura and he established a temple, and speaking about the glories of Radharani, it seemed Krishna became, not it seemed, indeed Krishna became so pacified by listening to the glorification of Srimati Radhika from this Vrajarasa, this Rasik Vaishnav, Srila Gurudev. Similarly, we hear in Vishnu Priya Devi's Leela that Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas and he left, when he was in Jagannath Puri, so many were there with Mahaprabhu. In the Gambhira, in Puri, he had so many associates, but who was there with Vishnu Priya Devi to pacify her? Who was there? There was no one. Sachi Devi herself, mother of Mahaprabhu, she was feeling so much separation. So then how could she possibly pacify Vishnu Priya Devi? And Ishan Thakur, Vamsivadananda Thakur, they were like, they could only stay outside and they couldn't say anything. They were only carrying out certain services and they couldn't speak any words of consolation to Vishnu Priya Devi. See, this is Prem. Gurudev would say, what is the symptom of Prem? The symptom of Prem is that the person you love the most, you'll have to give up for Krishna. He'd say. You'll have to give him up. That is the symptom of Prem. Give him up or give her up. Therefore we see Vishnu Priya Devi, she was only 16 years old when she married Mahaprabhu. She's Bhakti Devi herself. But still, why did Mahaprabhu give her up then? Everything was so favorable. Sachidevi was so favorable. She'd say, you do Sankirtan the whole day now. But still, why did Mahaprabhu give everyone up and just jump inside the Ganga? And very cruelly, he swam across the Ganga to Kantak Nagari. Why? Because he showed everyone that this is the symptom of prem. Because ultimately, a person has to give up his loved, near and dear ones. He has to. When he dies, what will happen? He has to give them up. So before that stage of death comes, then you show to Krishna that this person I'm sacrificing. And Mahaprabhu himself showed by his own life. We see that day that Mahaprabhu was about to leave home, when Gurudev would speak this Leela, he'd be weeping so much. He'd say that this Leela has not even been described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he'd say. This Leela has been described, he said, in a certain book, he has said. And this Leela is actually manifested in the hearts of all the devotees, he said. He said, Vrindavan Das Thakur has not described this Leela in Chaitanya Bhagavat because then Vrindavan Das Thakur, he would have become so absorbed in separation that he would have not even finished Chaitanya Bhagavat then. Therefore, he is not described there. What is that Leela? That day that Mahaprabhu was about to take sannyas, Vishnupriya Devi, when she was going to the Ganga to bathe, then what happened? She stubbed her toe on a rock and then started bleeding so much. And then her nose ring fell inside the Ganga. Then she was weeping so much. She came to Sachi Devi and she said, Mother, today something very inauspicious has happened. My nose ring fell inside the Ganga and I stubbed my toe. So then Mother Sachi, anyhow, she consoled her, saying, don't worry, everything will be all right. And that day Mahaprabhu, he had never spoken to Vishnupriya Devi his entire life. You can imagine. He never spoken his entire life to his wife, you can imagine. But that day he spoke very sweetly to her. He decorated her hair, he gave her some tambul. And then Vishnupriya Devi was thinking, why is he speaking to me in such a way? Like we see a hurricane lamp, just before it extinguishes, it burns very brightly and then extinguishes. Similarly, something is going to happen. And then she was thinking, anyhow, I'll have to stay awake the whole night. Then she said, anyhow, I'll have to stay awake. Then she was trying to stay awake, then Yogamaya came and she made her fall asleep. Then Mahaprabhu, he left. Sachi Devi, she stood standing there like a rock. Mahaprabhu did her parikrama and he left this way. And Gurudev, we weep so much when he'd speak of this Leela. He said, this Leela just shows this how prem is. This is the extent of prem that the associates of Mahaprabhu have for him. And then we see Vishnupriya Devi, when Mahaprabhu, even when he was in Puri, he'd come as a spurti. Because if Mahaprabhu would not appear as a spurti, then Vishnupriya Devi would have left her body long time back. Like we see, even when Krishna was in Mathura and Dwaraka, he'd always appear in a spurti to the gopis. How the gopis would have left their bodies? How can they possibly stay separated from Krishna for so long? More than 100 years. They would have left their bodies in separation. This fire would have manifested from them, they would have left their bodies. Like we see Sita Devi, this fire manifested from within Sita Devi when this Agni Pariksha was done. This is not even the real Sita, this is Chaya Sita. And we see normally also, this one Baba who went to Dwaraka in Ranbadi, he also already gave up his body, this fire manifested from his body. And he entered into this fire and he gave up his body. It is said normally even a very chaste lady, if her husband goes away, passes away, if she is very chaste, not looked at the face of any other man, then she will also enter into this fire. How? This fire will manifest from her body. Similarly, with this fire, I have not manifested from the gopis, who are the most beloved devotees of Krishna. Surely it would have manifested, but why didn't this fire consume them? This Viragni. Why? Because Krishna was appearing in a spurti and is giving them darshan. And by when you give darshan in this spurti, then they would be pacified. Similarly, Vishnupriya Devi and Sachi Devi, they were feeling so much separation from Mahaprabhu. Then why didn't they give their bodies up then? Because Mahaprabhu was appearing there in a spurti. And he was accepting all their offerings. Like we see Vishnupriya Devi, every day she'd take all these grains of rice and she'd wash it with her own tears. And she'd offer it, and then she'd offer it to Sachi Devi. And then Sachi Devi would offer bhoga and Mahaprabhu indeed would come and eat everything. Then she would have doubt, who is eating this? Then Mahaprabhu, he sent his associates, like Damodar Pandit and everyone else, saying, go and tell mother that I am coming every day and honoring what she has cooked for me. So therefore we see Vishnupriya Devi is Prem Bhakti Swarupini herself. And we see the nishtha that she had in Ganga Devi. Like today is also Pundarik Vidyanidhi's appearance day. They won't even bathe in the Ganga during the day. They'd go during the night. Vishnupriya Devi would go 3 o'clock in the morning and she'd bathe in the Ganga and return back with a wet cloth on. So that even the sun could not see her. This is this chastity. Normally we see that chastity is the ornament of every woman, it is said. If a woman is not chaste, then this very quality of beauty goes away, Gurudev would say. But still we see ordinary chastity, does it have any value? It doesn't have any value. Because even the husbands, they are loyal and chaste, will die eventually one day. So what is the ultimate meaning of chastity? That one is most chaste to Parabrahma, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. In this way. So therefore we see today is very auspicious Tithi. So many wonderful Tithis have coincided together. See, Raghunath Das Goswami, Gurudev would say, is the ideal Rupanuk Vaishnav. You cannot understand the teachings of Rupa Goswami on your own. You can only understand through the via media of Raghunath Das Goswami. Gurudev would give an example, like in a laboratory, there are many different chemicals together. But who will mix all these chemicals and produce a compound? Who will do this? Similarly, Rupa Goswami has given all the constituents of rasa, like Uddipan, Satvik, Vyabhichari Bhav, Bhav, Vibhav, Anubhav, Ashyalamban, Vishalamban. But who will mix all these and produce Bhakti Ras? Rupa Goswami has not shown this. Why? He gave the remnants of this seva to Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami as the ideal Rupanuk Sevak, as the ideal Rupanuk Sadhak, he has mixed all these different constituents of rasa to produce Bhakti Ras. And he has shown the sadhak how to perform this service. And we see how many wonderful leelas he has performed with Mahaprabhu. We see, if you ever want to know about Raghunath Das Goswami's life, it is very important to memorize these 6 lines from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sthira hoy kare jao, na hoy batul, krame krame payalog bhavasindukul. Mahaprabhu said, don't be immature. Even Gurudev would say, before anyone leaves home, you shouldn't be immature. Or else you'll go back home and say timire, say jay timire. Again the same darkness. Therefore Mahaprabhu said, Sthira hoy kare jao, na hoy batul, krame krame payalog bhavasindukul. Antare nishta kara loka vyavahar, achiren Krishna tomai, koribe uddhar. That inside your heart, you have this nishtha. Don't show anyone this nishtha, this bhakti you have. And achire tomai Krishna koribe uddhar. Krishna will surely deliver you quickly. Don't have any doubt. Markat vairagya na kore loka dekhaiya. Yatha yogya vishaya bunja anasakta hoiya. Don't show monkey-like renunciation. Keep this renunciation stored within your heart. And yatha yogya vishaya bunja anasakta hoiya. And this way, practice ideal renunciation. And we see Mahaprabhu also, he told him how to practice this Mansi Seva. Gramya katana bolibe, gramya katana shunibe. He said, don't listen to Gramya Katha, don't speak Gramya Katha. Then, Raja Radha Krishna Yugal Seva Manasa Koribe. Engage in this Mansi Seva of Radha Krishna Yugal. And there's just so many wonderful teachings can be seen. The life of Raghunath Das Goswami is a gem from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It also sees Raghunandan Thakur's appearance day. We see for Raghunandan Thakur, Krishna himself, he ate this laddu and he'd speak to his devotee. And this half-eaten laddu to this day it is seen as a testimony. Like we see in Dwaraka, the deity we see in Dwaraka is not actually the original deity that we see in Dwaraka. The deity, original deity actually stays in this Dakor. How did this deity come there to Dakor? It is said there was one devotee called Bodhanna. So Bodhanna, every day he'd go to have darshan of this deity in Dwaraka. Then one day Dwarkadish himself told him that I don't want to stay here anymore. You take me to this place, Dakor. Because Dakor is the place where Krishna, he left the battlefield. This Ranachor Leela, where Krishna was called Ranachor, it happened in Dakor. So he told Bodhanna, take me away from here. Keep me there. Then Bodhanna, he said, how can I take you away from there? All the Brahmins, they're there. What will they do to me? He said, don't worry, you come in the middle of the night and take me away from there. In the middle of the night, everyone was asleep. Automatically the doors opened. And Bodhanna, he took this deity of Dwarkadish away and he came to Dakor. And then Krishna said, put me in a pond there. So then he left him in a pond. And then the Brahmins, they found out what happened. Then they wanted to kill Bodhanna. They said, where is the deity? Then automatically the deity came from the pond. And then Krishna, he said, I want to stay here in Dakor, in Ranachor here. So therefore we see Krishna, he has all his devotees do so many leelas for him. Krishna gives the remnants of his seva to his devotees. He performs certain leelas that his devotee, that he himself cannot do in this way. So anyhow, today is also the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj and Bhakti Swarup Parvat Goswami Maharaj. So we see Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj. If you read his biography, we see how he was such a powerful preacher. Spoke with so much force. No, he never flatter anyone. No, you should never flatter anyone because he's very rich or he's very wealthy. Saying, oh, if I don't speak sweetly to him, then he won't give me his donation. He won't give me his pranami. Speak as it is. Like the other day we heard from the Vaishnavas, you can never buy a sadhu. Person can think, I can buy a sadhu with all the money I have. You can never buy him. How can you possibly buy him? Like we say, Bharati Maharaj, he was preaching to one lady who was the queen of Kuch Bihar. Then he went and he told her, he spoke Harikatha, then she came with so much money to give to Bharati Maharaj. Bharati Maharaj, he said, I have not come for your money. I have come to tell you that although you're a queen now, tomorrow your body will be eaten by stools. It will be eaten by hogs and turned into their stool. So what is the use of you being a queen? And the queen, she was thinking, no one's ever spoken to me in such a way. He was saying, who is this sadhu? And then we see he spoke the same way to a queen in Jagannath Puri also. She was so much influenced by him that she gave that land to him, where now a temple has been established. Bharati Maharaj's temple. And then he wanted to establish the temple in another piece of land, and then some of his disciples, they asked him, where do we get this piece of land? He said, you go to Calcutta. There's one person there, he'll give you this piece of land. Then the disciples were thinking, how can we find this person in Calcutta? There are millions of people there. Then he said, don't worry, just go to the railway station. As soon as you get down, that person will find you. That time there was nothing, no telegram, no phone, nothing. Then they said, what is our Guru Maharaj saying? Then as soon as they went to Calcutta, they got off from the train. The first person they asked, they said, some person has promised us to give us like some land. Can you help us? Then that person said, yes, that person is me. He said, I have promised to give you that land. And then when the deities were to be installed in Calcutta in Hazrat Road, then Siddhanti Maharaj, he was saying, where can we find the deities? Then Bharati Maharaj said, go to the banks of the Ganga. There you'll find the deities underneath this people tree. Go there. And Siddhanti Maharaj, he went there and he saw the deities of Radha and Krishna were underneath this people tree there. So therefore we see, today is also Bhakti Swarup Parvat Maharaj, another wonderful disciple of Prabhupada. He had the association of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur when he was a small boy. He could hear Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaking, uttering Harinam when he was just a small boy. And then Prabhupada himself sent him to Jagannath Puri to do bhajan. And every day he'd spend like 4 paisa to buy Jagannath Mahaprasad. Prabhupada said, this is all right. You're honoring Mahaprasad, but still you should do Madhukari Bhiksha. Why are you only honoring Mahaprasad? Go to Madhukari Bhiksha from all the Dhamvasis there. And to this day he's doing, and then until the last day of his life he was doing Madhukari Bhiksha. He has such a beautiful temple in Odisha, this Udala. In Udala, when he was speaking, he said, all of you, none of you have Akshar Gyan. He said, none of you have Akshar Gyan means all of you are like uneducated. And these people became so angry at him, saying, what is Maharaj saying that we're all uneducated? Then he said, what is the meaning? Then when Maharaj wanted to go on Nagar Sankirtan the next day, Pratkalin Sankirtan, after Mangalarti, his disciples said, Maharaj, don't go. They might beat you. Because just now, the previous day, you said none of them have Akshar Gyan, they're all uneducated. So they're all waiting. This Kali Yuga Maharaj, they were ready to beat sannyasis. Maharaj said, no, I don't fear, let's go. Then Maharaj said, what is the meaning of Akshar Gyan? Akshar Gyan means one who doesn't have knowledge about Parabrahma, Sri Krishna. In that way, the entire world is bereft of this Akshar Gyan. Therefore, how are any of you an exception to this rule? Then all of them, they were so much influenced by him. And Maharaj, he made a temple there in that very place when they were so much opposed to him. And what did he do? The first thing that he did when he made a temple there, he took some sand. He took some mud from one place where Prabhupada had spoken Harikatha. Nearby, 15 miles away from there, Prabhupada had spoken Harikatha. So he said, my Guru Maharaj's foot dust is present here. So he took that foot dust of that place, and then when the structure was being erected, the first thing that he put there was the foot dust of Prabhupada. He said, now this temple is pure, because my Guru Maharaj's foot dust is present here, he'd say. So such beautiful Vaishnavas there, showing us by their own conduct, by their own achar, vichar. And lastly, we see today is also Durvasa Rishi's appearance day. And so many leelas we heard recently from the Vaishnavas regarding him, how Durvasa was the main reason that Gurudev went preaching to the West. Previously, the Vaishnavas were saying, when Durvasa Rishi's glories were being discussed, that who did Bhagwan like more, Durvasa or Ambarish Maharaj? So normally we think he liked Ambarish Maharaj more. But we see who did Bhagwan actually like more. He liked Durvasa Rishi more than even Ambarish. Why? Because did Bhagwan chastise Ambarish Maharaj? He never chastised him, but he chastised Durvasa Rishi. This is a sign of prem. One may think that, oh, the Vaishnavas are loving me so much, this, that, so many things. But unless one receives that chastisement, then that is a sign of love. One can get that power to digest that chastisement. Then that is a sign of love then. Or else only getting love, but no chastisement, then that is like bogi mentality. Then trying to enjoy the Vaishnava. They say here, who did Bhagwan like more, Durvasa or Ambarish Maharaj? Yeah. And today is also Saraswati Puja. You see, today Saraswati Devi, she is worshipped everywhere, all over India. I remember all of us, we take our school textbooks and we'd offer it in the lotus feet of Saraswati Devi. But Ultimately, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas follows the Divya Saraswati Devi, not just Saraswati Devi in the ordinary sense. And who is this Saraswati Devi? She is the wife of Brahma. But why did Krishna make her the wife of Brahma? Because Parakiya Bhav. He wanted to relish this Parakiya Bhav. Therefore, he arranged for her to be married to Brahma in this way. So many other tithis are present today also. Today also Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj Avirbhav Tithi, Bhakti Sudhi Damodar Maharaj Tirubhav Tithi. So very auspicious tithi. It's like the beginning of a new year for the Vaishnavas, for all the devotees. And from this tithi until Gaur Purnima, 40 days they celebrate Holi. Now in all of Braj you'll see, from today they all celebrate Holi. They all start throwing colors at each other. From this tithi, 40 days. So all these tithis have coincided together to bless us. And we can only pray at the lotus feet of all these associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada, that they always guide us, that we never fall away from this path of devotional service, that we never become proud, puffed up. Vaishnavas are always saying, even the day before they were saying in class, that one becomes so proud, he goes to the summit of the mountain and then he falls from there again. Therefore we pray that we always remain safe and we always under their guidance.
Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunvalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupa Anuga Pravaram Vrajara Sarasikancha Narayanam Tang Prapanam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Prashtaya Bhutale Rupa Anuga Bhaktidam Chakripa Murti Narayanam Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my Sastangdandabat pranams under the lotus feet of our most worshipful Srila Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Srila Guru Maharaj, to Arupanuga Guru Varga and all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So we just heard how today is a mixture of so many festivals. It comes in one name as Vasanta Panchami. So prominently the term Vasanta Panchami, five. This comes just 5 days after Srila Gurudev's appearance from Moni Amavasya. This is one of the speciality of this month of Magha. So before Mahaprabhu appeared, then previous to that, then this Vasanta Panchami, the beginning of spring season. And along this beginning of spring season, so many festivals. There's the Saraswati Puja we just heard, Puja for the goddess of learning. There's Durvasa festival. Brijvasis, they follow all this. Even the gopis, or Srimati Radharani, on this day, then they cross the Yamuna to offer gifts to Durvasa Rishi. So we know how Durvasa Rishi is part of many pastimes. Also part of our pastimes of Srila Gurudev, but pastimes of Ramachandra, pastimes of Ambarish Maharaj, and like in the Leela of Krishna even. The reason why Lord Ramachandra left from Durvasa's like curse to Lakshman, or the reason like Krishna disappeared, he using also Durvasa from the curse of Durvasa. So many. But also Durvasa giving boon. So the reason why Radharani is arranged to cook for Krishna is because she has this boon that whoever eats her cooking becomes unconquerable. And so that's why Mother Yashoda are requesting Radharani, please cook for Krishna. So many things to glorify them like takes so many, like, so we just speak in essence. Especially today, Vasanta Panchami, there's prominence, as I said, 5 things. Vaishnavas have pointed out before when we talk about significance of this 5. When we talk about Mahaprabhu Leela, there's the Panchatattva. Without their mercy, we can never come to getting really the gift of Mahaprabhu. But also, when we talk about 5, here in the Jiva's life, there's, when in Maya, the most grossest existence is when one is covered by these 5 gross elements. But when he comes to be liberated, then he becomes free from these gross elements and taste these 5 rasa. Be part of tasting this most subtle, most pleasurable taste of this. And there's 5, this rasa, this bhakti rasa. The highest, of course, is Madhurya rasa. So in Vasanta Panchami, we say beginning of spring season, then we're acknowledging in Braj. Actually, when I first came to the Mat, I can still remember the first class I listened to Vaishnav in that little room on the ground floor. It was packed with many devotees, and Prabhuji was speaking about this book where he was reading on Vrindavan Champu. This the different seasons. And so this Ananda Vrindavan Champu. And I don't understand many things, but I just see how the devotees are so happy and the Vaishnava is so absorbed, speaking about this. I was very new, and all that I can just have these impressions this is such high, this high subject, but very, very deep meaning. And anyhow, later on, then we're beginning to appreciate. When we talk about the seasons, they're all there, assisting in the pastimes for Radha and Krishna. In Gopal Champu, or in Ananda Vrindavan Champu, actually it speaks there that in Braj there are 10 seasons. We know here there's only 6 seasons. There's summer, rainy season, then there's autumn, there's winter, and then there's the frost, which is the deep winter, or foggy winter. And then after that, there's Vasanta, or spring season. So there's this 6, but then plus 3 more, which is combination of the pair of the 6. So meaning 3 more. There's winter and deep winter. There's spring and summer, and then rainy season and autumn. And then after that, then there's the combination of the 6. So then making 10. But he said of all, then really the prominent season is this Vasanta. That's why it's called the Vasanta. This Vasanta Ritu is the king. And all the others are there just to nourish and making some varieties. So, but the prominent season is the spring season. Why? Because in the spring season, everything is balanced. Everything nicely balanced. And therefore, in the material world, in the springtime, then the 5 gross elements, Vaishnava explained, that they are nicely balanced. And everything is pleasing. So on this day, everyone's going out nicely, and they're playing kites, and they're harvesting, picking flowers. On this day, Mother Earth herself is decorated of the color of this golden hue, like Radharani. So if you go outside the field, you can see all these yellow flowers, covering Mother Earth. So in this Vasanta season, then they all have these festivals of offering their harvest and going to the sadhus, offering. And therefore we see that they went to Durvasa Muni. He's one of the sadhus in Braj. But we know especially the importance of this Vasanta season is because in in the eternal Vrindavan, then this season serving in the Rasa Lila. Every day in Braj, in the eternal Braj, is Rasa Lila. In this world, in the Prakat Lila of Shri Krishna, then we can see like this, some accounts of the Rasa Lila on the Purnima, and two accounts. One is the Purnima of the Sharad season, or the autumn season, that is in Kartik, and during this Vasanta season, the Purnima. But what is the speciality of each? He said that during the autumn season, in Kartik time, that was Rasa Lila, which includes all the other, like including the Nitya Siddha and Sadhan Siddha gopis, all. And it's like a way to, like for the Sadhan Siddha, learning with the Nitya Siddha. In the springtime, that Rasa Lila, which happened in Govardhan, the autumn season Lila happened here in Vrindavan. So that thing that happened in Govardhan, in Chandra Sarovar, then this is was only participated by the Nitya Siddha gopis. But of course, it doesn't mean that in the Rasa Lila here, like, there's no chance for the Sadhan Siddha or anyone to join. But this is just showing the speciality. And furthermore, what's speciality in what terms? Because ultimately, if you read Rai Ramananda Sambad, this is what Rai Ramananda is saying, that this spring season, like Rasa Lila, shows really the prominent, like the superiority of Srimati Radharani, the position of Srimati Radharani. That without Radha, then no rasa. In the autumn season, Krishna was the one who left, and everyone was like looking for Krishna. And then they sang Gopi Geet, and Krishna appeared. In the Vasanta Lila, it was Radharani who left, and when Radharani left, then everything we sang last night, Shatakoti Gopi, or this Baraja Bipini. All gopis are there. When Radha left, then Krishna abandoned everyone and looking only for Radharani. The Rasa Lila stopped. So ultimately showing the position of Srimati Radharani. And in that particular, in that particular Rasa Lila, they're all Nitya Siddha gopis. So among them, like without Radha, then really, like, it's useless for they're useless to Krishna. Of course, we understand that by Tattva, all the gopis are actually part or manifestation of Srimati Radharani. So that is one speciality in essence of this Vasanta Ras. Our Guru Varga, like our Prabhupada, he established his deity, Gandharvika Giridhari, and Vaishnava was pointing out that this is his deity. Specifically, he's serving in Govardhan, near this Rasa Lila place in Govardhan, where there's the two kundas there also, Naval Kund and Apsara Kund. So it doesn't mean that only Nitya Siddhas can enter there. It's just that in that place there's only spring season, because that's in eternal Braj is only spring season. And our Guru Varga, like our Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, he's serving there, and he is also welcoming like anyone who take his shelter. He can give us entrance there. So therefore, on today, then we actually like pray to his lotus feet. So another thing we know is like some of all the many celebrations, then very prominent to remember also, now we're talking about 5, is this 5 eternal associates of Mahaprabhu. Now we're celebrating also today. 4 are actually part of directly in the Leela of Mahaprabhu, and 1 is, although eternal associate is like not on the specific time of Mahaprabhu's appearance. So who are these 4? There's Vishnupriya Devi. She is Bhushakti, taking the role like a wife of Mahaprabhu. Then there is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Who is Pundarik Vidyanidhi? He is actually Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So he is actually the father of Radharani, now coming in Mahaprabhu Leela. Then there is, of course, Raghunath Das Goswami. So how significant is Raghunath Goswami? He's actually Mahaprabhu's direct disciple. Of the 6 Goswamis, he lived with Mahaprabhu for 16 years in Jagannath Puri. And he has witnessed all these pastimes of Mahaprabhu in Puri. And therefore, if not for Raghunath Das Goswami, who kept all these notes of Swarup Damodar, who was his Shiksha Guru, and witnessing all these pastimes of Mahaprabhu, then this Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is like our main book in giving us entrance to understanding Mahaprabhu and his gift and his real identity, it would not have manifested. It is like we owe so much from Raghunath Das Goswami. So they appeared on this very day. There's like the mother figure, like when you say Bhu Shakti, that is the deity of this earth herself. And that also Vaishnavas have also glorified that when we talk about Vishnu Priya Devi, she's actually the very personification of transcendental knowledge. So also coinciding today is Saraswati Puja, who is the goddess of fortune. The materialists who desire material knowledge, then of course they worship Saraswati. But real Saraswati is Vishnu Priya Devi, Bhu Shakti. She's like mother, and like Bhakti is like mother. With her blessings, then she can actually give us all nourishment to become to be able to serve Bhagavan. And especially in Mahaprabhu Leela, she is there assisting. And if one gets her shelter, then becomes very strong. Gurudev would explain, she is more renounced than Mahaprabhu himself. When Mahaprabhu took sannyas, that time when Mahaprabhu was in Advaita Acharya's place, everyone came to that place in Shantipur. All the Navadvipas except Vishnu Priya Devi. Because she wants to assist in that pastime of Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi, then she has to stay away, not showing herself. So much to be said about her, but just telling in essence. And there's, of course, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. We know he's like father figure. Mahaprabhu himself, even before meeting Pundarik Vidyanidhi, was shouting in one kirtan. He said, Bap, meaning father, father. Absorbing the mood of Srimati Radharani. Who is his father? That is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Gadadhar Pandit himself, who is Srimati Radharani, first darshan in Mahaprabhu Leela of his own father, he not understand, this is his Leela, that he's looking look at this, so extravagant, nicely dressed, and looking like an enjoyer. But as soon as Mukunda, we know the story, as soon as Mukunda glorifying Putana, Krishna, who is the killer of Putana, giving mercy to Putana, Aho Baki Amsta Nakalakutam, he's saying like this. Later, this demon who wanted to kill Krishna, but just because he offered her his breast milk like a mother, then Krishna rewarded her a position like a nurse, like a mother in Golok. So who can be more merciful than that? So then Pundarik Vidyanidhi became so much in separation and became totally mad, and therefore Gadadhar could understand, he's not ordinary person. And by criticizing even by mind, then I'm committing offense. Later on, he surrendered to him and became his disciple. So he is the guru of Gadadhar Pandit, in Mahaprabhu Leela, Radharani herself, in Mahaprabhu Leela. So then Raghunath Das Goswami, who else? Appearing today, on this day also, is Raghunandan Thakur. Raghunandan, he is one of the who is considered to be the child of Mahaprabhu. There's Jiva Goswami, there's Raghunandan, there's Kavi Karnapur. They're considered like the putra of Mahaprabhu. So why? Because during Mahaprabhu Lila, he was like very young. He is actually the son of Mukunda. In Srikanda, which is like one of the headquarters of like very strong community of Gaudiyas, Mahaprabhu's followers, like very prominent three personalities. There's Mukunda, Narahari, and then there's Raghunandan. Mukunda is the elder brother of Narahari Sarkar. Narahari Sarkar is like very dear associate of Mahaprabhu, is like his classmate. But Mukunda, he is like elder brother of Narahari. His son is the Raghunandan. And Mahaprabhu is showing actually how Raghunandan, like so much devotion to Mahaprabhu and like to Krishna. He is example of how to worship Thakurji. He himself, by his offering, Gopinath himself eating directly the offering. We know the story, Raghunandan. So Mahaprabhu, he's one of the recipients of the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So he has appeared today. He's been described that he is a Priya Narmasaka. One of the Chaturvyuha, actually, is Pradyumna, the third of the Chaturvyuha of Bhagavan. But in Krishna Lila, he is one of the Priya Narmasaka. In Mahaprabhu Lila, he is Raghunandan. And during Kirtan, he's one of the main dancer in Kirtanya. From the group of Shrikanda, in Rath Yatra, there's like 7 groups of devotees. One group is all these devotees from Shrikanda. Him and Narahari, they're the main dancer and attracting Mahaprabhu in this way. He said, if someone gets the mercy of Raghunandan, then Mahaprabhu will be like easily captured by that devotee. And therefore today we acknowledge, these 4 personalities, like very dear personalities who can give us entrance to Mahaprabhu's heart. Then, the 5th one, of course, is not in Mahaprabhu Lila, but we know he is none different from the very main disciple of Mahaprabhu, who is that Rupa Goswami. And the later generations, without his mercy, would not have able to enter into like understanding these real teachings of Mahaprabhu. Who is that? Our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Our Srila Gurudev himself is very fond of all Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's books, his writings. And therefore, many of his writings our Srila Gurudev has published and given commentary. Our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given very nice commentary on Bhagavatam, even Bhagavad Gita. And we can know his mood is always in the topmost, like Madhurya Rasa. And not just that, but especially the main books of Rupa Goswami. He has written his commentary. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, then he is writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. The Ujjvala Nilamani of Rupa Goswami, he is also writing Ujjvala Nilamani Kiran. And then there's Bhagavatamrita Khana. So this is said that who can be a real Gaudiya? If they're able to understand these 3 books, then really they're able to receive gifts of Rupa Goswami. And so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, today his disappearance. And so in a way he's inspiring us. Like, if we get his mercy, like then we should come with him. Disappear from this world and enter into that world over this springtime season and join in the Rasa Lila of our Supreme Lord. So today we're observing this great festival, so many meanings. We hope to hear from the Vaishnavas more about the significance of these festivals. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu eva cha patitanam pavani vaishnava namo namo. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmaye Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Bolo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Offering our unlimited Satsang Pranam unto the dust of the lotus feet of our dear Srila Gurudev, Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and in the same way offering our unlimited obeisances to our Guru Parampara and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Today is, as we have heard from the Vaishnavas, a day of celebration. And why are all the Vaishnavas rejoicing? Because today, Sri Krishna gets so much happiness from associating in the Rasa Leela with the gopis. So the mood is just right. When we think about what is right, what is wrong, what is superior, everything is in relationship to what pleases Sri Krishna, what gives him so much joy. And Srimati Radharani, she is expert at giving joy to Krishna. So in this world which is dual, we're always categorizing, maximizing, minimizing. But what really is the point of reference to know what is right and what is wrong? Well, the point of reference is always the Ananda of Sri Krishna. So today Sri Krishna is very happy. Today he is very joyful because everything is just right. Everything has bloomed to a certain point. So if you think of a seed, when you plant a seed, all the potency is inside of the seed. But there must be a process for the seed to become a fruit or a flower. So we hear that during the spring season, then whatever has been planted will come to bloom. So in the same way, we can consider that Srila Gurudev, when he has touched us by his mercy, by kindly granting us the seed of pure bhakti in the form of Harinam, he has put that seed in our heart. And the Vaishnavas, like expert gardeners, they have been taking care of that seed. And they've been nurturing that seed with their love, their affection, with their association, with the warmth of their friendship, with Ras, with Harikatha, with Harikirtan. And then if we are patient, eventually that seed that has been planted by Srila Gurudev and nurtured by the Vaishnavas, it will bloom into a fruit or flower that can be offered for the pleasure of Sri Krishna. So in the spring season, everything blooms because it is time. It happens. So Sri Krishna has been giving darshan to the gopis, and from a distance he has been establishing a relationship with them. And then in the Rasa Leela he finally calls them to dance with him. And so all the rasa and all the bhavs and all the intrinsic moods that the gopis may have in their hearts blooms today in joy of meeting with Krishna, and then the Ananda of Krishna is increased. So in Mahaprabhu Leela, we can see all of this Ananda expressed, as the Vaishnavas have said, by glorifying Raghunath Das Goswami, Vishnupriya Devi. In Mahaprabhu Leela, we know that this is a Leela of separation. But separation is only the process of nurturing what is meant to bloom spiritually. So there is union, and the union is the bloom. But the process of that flower growing and cultivating and having the faith that there will be a meeting, well, that is all Mahaprabhu Leela. So, for example, we can see it in Vishnupriya Devi. Her Leela is a Leela of separation. So she's cultivating. So much ras is there, so much essence is there, that one can only imagine the quality of the flower. And the quality of the flower is the quality of that love. When we think of Raghunath Das Goswami and how Mahaprabhu was telling him, you go back home, and then when you are ready to just be fully mine, then you come. And then he was so devastated because he had so many ties, and Mahaprabhu was not directly giving his association. But as we know, when there is real love, then, as the Vaishnavas have said, then some chastisement is there. So Mahaprabhu, what he was doing, he was just churning Goswamiji's heart. And that is the quality of the bloom. It's like, go churn your heart and find there what is the essence. And then when you have found that essence, which is pure love, one-pointed, pure love, then you come back to me. So it is the opportunity that the Vaishnavas, Mahaprabhu, in this Leela, he is also exemplifying this. That it is not that the Vaishnavas are rejecting us when they are telling us an instruction that may seem difficult to conquer. It's just from the point of view of the expert gardener. The flower can bloom very nicely if it is cultivated properly. So that time in separation, it is of course the time of cultivation. It is the time where we can meditate and introspect, remember the times of association. Like right now, Sripad Krishna Karunya Maharaj, he was speaking of when he came for the first time to Mathura, and how sweet were those days where we had very few people were there, and we had the chance to be with the Vaishnavas in a very, very intimate way. And then what happens in the process of, it's really incredible if you think about it. When Maharaji came to the Vaishnavas, this is years and years ago, perhaps decades. And then to think that the Vaishnavas over 2 decades, 3 decades, have been cultivating this beautiful garden for Srila Gurudev, so he can offer all of these beautiful flowers to Srimati Radharani, and then she can make a garland for Sri Krishna during the Rasa Leela. How much patience and how much love and how much grace for those flowers to bloom. And this is really the mood of Srila Gurudev, to give so much joy to Krishna. That garden has to be cultivated. To realize the Manubhishtam of Mahaprabhu, who wanted to give this Manjari Seva, Manjari Bhav, the expert gardener has to cultivate the land and the earth. So it is a day of celebration and it is a day of bloom, but for every bloom, we must remember how much love is there in the cultivation of the earth. And this is really the glory of Srila Gurudev. What he came to give us is not theoretical. You know, he is in this world, he has come, and throughout the years, throughout the decades, throughout his entire Leela, once he promised that I will take care of you, well, we can see each one of us from the moment we took Harinam, there has not been one day when Srila Gurudev has not been present in our life, taking care of us, nurturing us. What a gift. And the hope, of course, and the faith is that the bloom will come, which is the aspiration of all the Vaishnavas. When will that day come where there will be pure love in my heart, and where only one pointed sweet love, when my heart will melt? Well, that is the flower and that is the bloom. And what is between the seed and the bloom is the care of the Vaishnavas and the faith that the jiva may have, that Gurudev is taking care of me, that he is the expert gardener and he has promised. So we should never lose faith that that day of celebration where we will be offered to Krishna for his joy, his happiness, his pleasure, is definitely going to come, because this is Gaura Lila, and because the proof that that day will come is that Gurudev has promised. And whenever Srila Gurudev gave his word, that word is meant to be fulfilled. So how many times we have heard from the Vaishnavas that, I am only in this earth because Gurudev wants the Vaishnavas to take care of the jivas that he has collected. But that care doesn't go in vain. It will definitely give fruit. So in our hearts, a day like today reminds us that we should cultivate that attitude of faith that one day will become nishta. At some point we will realize and become convinced that whatever Gurudev has promised, it must come to pass. It may take 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives, who knows? It may be in this very life, because Guru Maharaj is an expert gardener. But it must come to reality that whatever Gurudev promised, it will happen. Especially it is Gaura Lila. So Mahaprabhu, he is so kind. Nityananda Prabhu, he is giving so many chances. And the proof of that is that the Vaishnavas have come to take care of us. So whether in our life we may experience the phase of bloom, or we may experience the phase of seed growing in separation from the sun. If you see, when a seed is under the earth, it cannot really see the sun. It is not really there. But there is something intrinsic that says, keep going, keep growing. You will see the sun. Then at some point it blooms into a little twig, and there's no fruit. So the seed wonders, what is my purpose? Is this really working? Am I really going to get there? So it is the faith that we have in the words of the Vaishnavas, the Harikatha that nurtures us, like rainwater and the sun and the prasadam that the Vaishnavas give us, little by little, little by little. We must never lose that faith that ultimately the nature of the jiva is what? To give pleasure to see Krishna, to give happiness to see Krishna. And that happiness blooms in his smile. So today we are trying to remember this, and all the associates that are related to this festival, they have come to remind us this, that in reality we are meant to be a celebration in Krishna's consciousness. And we are invited to that. Mahaprabhu is inviting us to remember, Jiv Jago, Jiv Jago. Wake up and remember, what is your nature? Wake up, bloom. And he has come to give us all that grace, and the Vaishnavas. Like a miracle in this life, we have had so much association. They are reminding us that they are here, taking care of us. In my mind, I cannot understand how much grace has come in this life and over how many decades. Yet Mahaprabhu has given that boon and that blessing, and Srila Gurudev has given that boon that I will take care of you. I personally remember going into his room and taking Harinam, and I asked him for his grace, and he looked at me and he said, from now on, you should not worry about anything. I will take care of you. And so he did for the next 3 decades of my life. So I have faith that whatever he has promised, it will come a reality. Guru Maharaj had that kindness that he promised to take care of all of us throughout our life. So today in Vasanta Panchami, I am celebrating the expert gardener, Bandhav, Srila Gurudev, his promise. And I cannot see Krishna, but we all saw Gurudev, so that's not very far away. So the living proof that everything that we read and everything that the Vaishnavas speak about, the living proof is the Vaishnavas. And we take it also from the example of Raghunath Das Goswami, his life, how he lived, and how in the end, even though he was in so much separation of Mahaprabhu, in the end the fruit came. And he is reminding us also with Vishnupriya Didi how much separation in her life, but then in the end, how much essence. So it's always good to remember. I offer my pranam to all the Vaishnavas who are present here with so much faith, serving the mission of Srila Gurudev and trying to extend his mercy and his mood to the aspiring jivas of this world. So much endeavor is there to preserve Gurudev's mood. And what is this mood? Bhaktivedanta, friend of all the devotees, to take care, to nurture, to walk with, to be present, so that the jivas can also have the wonderful opportunity of meeting Mahaprabhu and his grace. Vanchakalpatarvyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namah.
Radha Kunda Tata Kunda Kutira